If you're somebody that travels often, maybe for work or who knows, just like taking vacations with your family, or who knows, maybe you're somebody that has a solid routine Monday through Friday, but on the weekends, it seems to kind of throw you off course. Nonetheless, I want to go over the best tips when it comes to staying on track with your health and fitness journeys in today's episode for you. And to help you out, I'm going to break this into 3 different categories. We're going to say nutrition, we're going to talk about activity, and then lastly, and probably most importantly, we're going to talk about your mindset. So for starters, nutrition. Now, there are many different avenues and roads that you can take to still help you when it comes to working on your health and fitness journey, despite if you're traveling or let's say going out to eat or who knows, just maybe the weekends just get a little bit too chaotic and it throws you off course of your normal routine. Nonetheless, I want to give you guys, in my opinion, the best pieces of advice on what you can do from a nutritional standpoint. 2 things that I recommend is either 1, focusing on doing a protein sparing diet, or 2nd, focusing on intermittent fasting. Now, you can also combine that into this hybrid approach that works, but nonetheless, let me break things down a little bit more easier for you. Essentially, when using the protein sparing diet, you're trying your best to hit your protein goal before you're either going out to eat or whatever festivities that may occur. Maybe it's, a party that you're going into or an anniversary dinner, or hey, you're going out and about where there's going to be tons of food, and obviously you want to make sure to, have some of those foods as well. So you're only focusing on hitting your protein goal. That's it. You're trying your best, keyword best, to keep your fats and your carbs to a bare minimum. So here's how that might look like for you, for example. Let's just say for breakfast, you're only having egg whites. I know, not the funnest thing in the world, but at the end of the day, it's virtually all protein. And let's say for a snack, you're having a protein shake. And let's say for lunch, you're having some form of like lean meats. Let's say ground turkey or, a fish or steak or chicken, something of that nature. Maybe another snack might be another protein shake or maybe some Greek yogurt. Essentially, remember, all you're trying to do is hit that protein goal and keeping your carbs and your fats to a bare minimum. So protein bars, I'm not a big fan of, right? For that particular, nutritional protocol and strategy, I like to say, there's going to be a lot of carbs, there's going to be a lot of fats inside of a protein bar. For other things, right? Even like vegetables, great for you, right? Not knocking them by any means, but at the end of the day, hey, there's going to be some carbohydrates. So I'm just trying my best to keep the protein, and that's it. All I'm trying to do is just, keep my protein nice and high and elevated throughout the course of the day and hit that protein goal by keeping the carbs and the fats to a bare minimum. So that way, when I do go out to eat, let's say it's a nice, date night with my wife or, a party or anything like that, travels, whatever the case may be, 1, it's off my plate of me having to worry about hitting my protein target for the day. And obviously that's essential when it comes to losing body fat and building that lean muscle tissue, right? So it's like I want to focus on doing that. So it's off my plate. I don't have to worry about it. The second thing is that when I'm actually going out and consuming, right? Let's say, we're going to a party or something like that, or a date night, and there's all this food in front of me. Well, guess what? With protein, right, being higher up on the thermic effect of food, it's going to aid me when it comes to making me feel fuller, longer, but also knowing me, right? My eyes are always bigger than my stomach. It's like I can go there and say, okay, I don't need to splurge and eat everything under the sun. Right? I can be more mindful for the simple fact of, hey, there's already food that I've been consuming throughout the course of the day, And I want to just say this too. Now, even if you're doing the protein sparing diet, you're not going to have so much of a calorie budget, so to speak, as if you were doing the intermittent fasting. But for the sake of our members at Heartletics, they always get better results when they do the protein sparing diet than if they were just doing the intermittent fasting, which I'm going to talk about next, where they have more calories, more wiggle room to play with. And I'm not trying to bash intermittent fasting at all. It's a great tool if you use it wisely, so to speak. But I'm just letting you know that our members typically get better results when they focus on doing a protein sparing diet rather than doing intermittent fasting. And essentially how you do intermittent fasting is pretty much how it sounds, is you're not consuming anything when it comes to calories, right? Which means also no liquid calories also. So keep that in mind. So no breakfast, no lunch, no snacks, no nothing. The only thing that you should be consuming is water, black coffee, and green tea. That's it. I'm not even a fan of putting in like the artificial sweeteners or anything like that. into the black coffee or green tea. I just keep it very, very simple. Now, on the flip side, compared to the protein sparing diet, when you do go out to eat, you have way more calories to play with now. Because if you think about it, if you're doing the protein sparing diet, maybe you used, I don't know, 500, 600, 700 calories of just eating protein for the day, to help you hit your protein goal. Well, you just gain back all those calories when it comes to if you're doing intermittent fasting. But remember, your eyes are typically bigger than your stomach. And so when somebody goes out to eat, sure, they're going to have all this X amount of calories to play with, but the likelihood of them actually hitting their protein goal in that meal or two or, party or dinner, wherever they're at, it's actually a lot harder, and it's typically, once again, not the best form when it comes to having long-term success at reaching your goals if you're doing that rather than the protein sparing diet. When it comes down to being active, whether you're traveling or let's just say, being more active on the weekends because it kind of throws you off your routine. Maybe your weekends are a little bit chaotic and hectic, compared to Monday through Friday, a solid routine for you. Keep this in mind, okay? The best way, in my opinion, right, when it comes to speeding up your metabolism is by obviously, number one, nutrition. The second best tip is to focus on getting more steps in, and that's going to be the key. It does not matter if you're traveling. It does not matter if you're busy on the weekend. It doesn't matter regardless, right? You can always move your body. That's it. Even if you're going somewhere and you're not actually moving around, there's nothing stopping you from standing up in place and just walking in place, and just doing some light movement just like that. Sure, you might look like the weirdo, but at the end of the day, if you're the weirdo that eventually gets the six-pack abs, I'm pretty sure you're going to say, that was well worth it, to just walk in place. So keep in mind, your activity matters. Don't be sedentary. If you're going somewhere, try to move, right? If you're out and about, try to move, try to be active, try to just, once again, move your body. Now, if you happen to, let's say, go traveling somewhere and you, I don't know, have a, Planet Fitness membership, right? Because there's Planet Fitnesses everywhere. Awesome. Plan for that. Try to, grab a location, an Airbnb or a hotel that's maybe near one of those gyms, or find out if the hotel that you're going to actually has a fitness center or a gym there, and prioritize that. Get it out of the way. So let's say if you're traveling with your family or traveling for work purposes, wake up early. Get a workout in before everybody else. You're going to feel so much better when you do, but also it's going to help with your mindset when it comes to setting the tone for the course of the day. Now, if let's just say that there is no access to the gym at all, guess what? Your body is your own gym, right? And that's why I love this thing to death, is because if you have the knowledge of knowing what to do and how to do it, you can get a great full body workout in with no equipment at all. We're talking squats, we're talking push-ups, we're talking different, abdominal exercises, obviously getting your steps that I mentioned in. It's, once again, you have to prioritize it. You have to say a mental flipping of the switch, I like to say, and say, hey, this is a priority to me. I'm going to do this. Before we go out and about, before we head off to this, adventures with the family for traveling, I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to get a quick workout in. I'm going to try my best to do 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups and, get all these steps in. I'm going to be mindful of things that I eat, because when you combine that, even though sure it's off your routine as normal, guess what? It's still helping you stay on track with your health and fitness goals. And that's why this is so important. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is your mindset, which is so important. It's great having a mindset where you're prioritizing your health and fitness goals, especially if you're traveling or have a busy schedule and you're like, okay, I'm still going to be mindful of what I'm eating. I'm still going to try my best to hit my, protein goal. I'm still going to try my best to, get this many steps in and this many push-ups and work out and prioritize it. That's great. But that's not what I mean about the mindset. I mainly mean, right, about the mindset of having grace, right? And understanding that at the end of the day, your health and fitness journey is a journey, right? It is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So there is nothing worse in the world than when somebody goes out to eat, they have all these, delicious meals, maybe desserts even, maybe some alcoholic beverages. And then the next day they wake up, they step on the scale, which I don't know why they would ever want to do that, and they see this weight just creep right back on and pile right back on. And then they have this feeling of guilt. They have this feeling of regret. So what do? They try not to eat anything that following day, do all this cardio to burn it off, And all that's doing is really just causing a negative relationship when it comes down to food. And it's almost like you're punishing your body. Hey, you ate like this, even though nobody forced you to eat anything at all. Like, literally, it was you picking up the fork and the spoon. It's not like anybody had a gun to your head. And now you're going to punish your body because you were the one that actually lost the self-control battle. So it doesn't make any sense at all. So this is why mindset is so important, is to have grace, to understand like, hey, you had some cheesecake, you had some beer, you had some, pasta, right? With all these, calories and whatnot. Did anybody die? I don't think so. So why are you treating it like it's a life and death scenario and then the next day trying to outdo everything compared to what you ate the previous night? It doesn't really make any sense, So it's like understanding that. The second thing, right, that is the bigger picture that I want you to understand is anytime you're going out to eat, maybe it's at a restaurant, maybe it's, somebody's house that, they're making all these delicious meals. And you're trying your best, right? Even if you're going out to eat and there's like the calorie counts, that's on the menu, hear me out. There is so many things behind the scenes when it comes to those, the chefs doing all the cooking, different cooking oils, all these different, things that's not being equated for those actual calories. So what does that mean also? Odds are you're probably going to go over 100 calories. And that's okay. Have some grace for yourself. But keep in mind too, whenever there's cooking oils, whenever there is any kind of alcoholic beverages, whenever there is all this sodium that's involved into the equation when it comes compared to what you're actually eating, the next day, you're gonna be higher in your weight. So don't even step on the scale. That is stupid. Don't do it, right? The following day, you're gonna be higher in weight. So don't even step on the scale. That is stupid. Don't do it. And here's the reason why, right? If you're having some foods with all these different fats and cooking oils, if you're having all these different alcoholic beverages, if you're having all this delicious food with, the sodium and everything galore, right, and the sugar, guess what? You're going to be retaining more water weight. So if you don't understand that, that, oh man, I overate and I went out to this place and I had all this food, right? And then you step on the scale, you're going to be instantly thinking like, oh, I just put on all this body fat. It's not the case at all. Body fat and weight is two different things. So sure, by consuming all this, you're going to be putting on a bunch of water weight. You're going to have all this water retention going on. And you got to understand that. You really do. But the main thing that I want you to understand as well is, once again, grace. Nobody died, right? Don't treat your body like, hey, I got to go in hardcore punishment mode now because I overdid it when it comes to the food consumption. Don't have that relationship. It is a horrible relationship to have when it comes down to food. Food equals fuel. And sir, some days you're going to overdo it. Some days you're going to splurge. I do it all the time, right? Personally. And it's okay. What matters the most is, what do you do the following day? Which is, hey, you brush it off. You have some grace for yourself. And you get right back on track. Okay, let me stick with my workouts. Let me stick with my macros. Let me get right back on track. And if you're able to continually to do that more and more and more and more, you're going to have some great success on your health and fitness journey. So just keep that in mind. I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode, and keep this in mind, whether you're traveling, whether you're going on vacation, whether you have a busy weekend ahead of you where it's a chaotic schedule and it throws you off your routine, apply these 3 basic tools that I shared with you guys. Remember, we talked about nutrition, we talked about activity, and lastly, and most importantly, we talked about the mindset. Now, if you guys did happen to enjoy today's episode, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below with your biggest takeaway after watching this, and as well, if you guys have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate that if you did. As always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.